want to pin Adam Cole.
Yeah. So
did he hit him with the Angel Wings too?
I
don't think he did.
You know what? I want to say that Cole hit him with the Angel's Wings. Did I remember that right?
Yes, he did. Good point.
So anyway, so that's what they did, and they had a big celebration at the end where the locker room came out to celebrate a lot with Daniels, and then our feed cut out. But I later read afterwards, you probably read the same thing, that I think it was Kerry Silken presented him with the belt and also the original Ring of Honor World Championship belt from the first.
I saw that online actually. Ring of Honor posted it because I think that happened to a lot of people.
Yeah, so that was it. That was in the show. So it was, I guess, a feel good moment for Christopher Daniels, who'd never really been a world champion in any major promotion. And he's in his mid 40s now, 45, 46.
He could be late 40s. He's in phenomenal shape.
He's about the same age as Jericho, I think, right?
Oh, so he's 100. But no, the thing about Christopher Daniels is he kind of very similar to Jericho. You know, he was a high flyer and he still is, but he really adapted his style to work around it. You know, and he still literally has the best moonsault ever. So good for him. What'd you give the show?
It was probably like you mean like A through F? I think I gave it an A-. I think
I went A- as well. I felt like that 2 back-to-back really good, solid shows from Ring of Honor. Speaking of Kerry Silken, me and the All Night Long Wrestling Podcast got a chance to speak with him. The guy came up to us. This is a shoot. This is a straight shoot. Yeah, he came up to us and he thanked us for coming to his show. Well, I think Kerry Silken has appreciated you and I more than either of our bosses ever have.
That's probably true.
Is that fair?
Yeah.
It
seemed like a nice guy.
Really nice guy. Came up to us and he said, "Just appreciate you guys coming out tonight." Oh, okay. I can give blood to somebody they wouldn't appreciate it, but Kerry Silken, you're okay with the All Night Long Wrestling Podcast, man.
Good night.
As we would like to remind you, we are always brought to you by the Damage 365 Radio Network.
Hey everybody, this is Ted DiBiase, the $1 Million Man, and you are listening to Damage 365 Radio. And remember, everybody's got a price for the $1 Million Man.
Laugh goes on for longer than I expect every time.
Yeah, every single time.
Fools me.
He's $1 Million Man.
I'd like to get a Sean Mooney drop. Can we get that?
Every time I hear he's $1 Million Man, I remember Kyle in his invitation. He's $1 Million Man.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
Greatest heel of all time.
He's the greatest heel of all time. Listen, I'm not gonna cut a promo here, but I'm
ready for this.
What?
I'm ready for this. Let's do it.
I have a little bit of an issue with what's going on in Ring of Honor. You've taken Kyle O'Reilly from me.
Who's taken?
Is there a delay on this? Can I just curse him? Kyle O'Reilly has left Ring of Honor. Bobby Fish said the other day he's now taking independent booking, so he is gone from Ring of Honor. Adam Cole is leaving Ring of Honor. The other rumors say Dalton Castle and Leo Rush have left Ring of Honor. Now, the problem I have is not that they're leaving. Well, selfishly, I'm upset they're leaving Ring of Honor because I'm not going to see them in the matches that they could potentially be having. That's indisputable because they're not going to get the time in WWE and they're not going to be able to wrestle their style of matches. Are we boring? We're boring, aren't you? Is this?
People are interacting me via text about the show. I'm just trying to make sure I keep up with the audience.
Why don't they? Can't they just share it and like it?
They have.
All right.
All 2 of them.
So, no, there's like 4 and 2 and back and forth. So that these guys are not going to get the platform. Well, I can't say they're not going to get the platform. Well, actually, no, they're not going to get their platform to demonstrate their in-ring work when they get to the WWE. As you could see with guys like Kevin Owens, Sami Zayn, Samoa Joe here and there, Nakamura obviously had to change his style, and all these guys had to change their style to make it a safer, more friendly WWE style. And I'm being selfish because I want to see these guys perform to the level they're capable of, and I'm upset that we're not going to see that in the WWE. I can't be mad at the WWE for offering these guys these contracts because these guys, they got into the business, because they love it, obviously, but they got into the business to make money. And that's what they have to do. And they're going to get more money. I assume so. They're going to get more money going to WWE, and they're probably going to get a more difficult schedule, but they're going to make more money for them and their family, and that's the right thing to do. But I'm just frustrated that the WWE is just poaching talent left and right of people that I love to watch, and I'm never going to see it again. I'm ready for your rebuttal.
Well, I mean, we started this conversation a little earlier this morning,
right. And I full well admit it's selfish of me. So it's not like I'm being rational.
No, I mean, I think the things that I would add to that are, are they poaching talent? Maybe. I think they're making offers to guys that they want, right? I mean, these guys can either take the offers or not. So it's kind of on them, right? So the Kyle O'Reillys, the Adam Coles, the guys that have already left, right? The Roderick Strong and people along those lines, they have an opportunity to go and they choose to go, right? Maybe they've been in Ring of Honor or independent federations for 5, 10 years longer, maybe longer than that. I don't know. So maybe they're looking to do something different. Then the other thing, I guess, is as far as the money goes, I have no insight into what contracts get offered to these guys. So I'm always speculating on what they get offered. I think some guys probably get offered more money than they're going to make on the indies. I think some guys get offered less money than they make on the indies.
Yeah. Cody Rhodes, for example, makes more money now, he says, than he made in WWE.
Yeah, I'm sure Drew Galloway, same thing, probably, right? And the Young Bucks make a really good living on what they do. But I know, I remember hearing Kevin Steen, now Kevin Owens, right, talk about that. When he got offered a deal to go to NXT, it was, I think, the same or less money than he was making, and they gave him no guarantees that he would make it to the main roster and all of that stuff. And then he just performed so well that he then signed a main roster deal, which was then, of course, more money, and was appearing on Raw and SmackDown every week at that time when there was no brand split. So
I wouldn't say they gave him no guarantee. They thrust him right into the main event in NXT.
No, I mean, he said that was from him. He said they gave him no guarantee of how successful he would be there and all this type of stuff. They didn't. They told him there was no guarantees of what they were going to do with him. And
in regard to the main roster. Okay, so I was going to say they thrust him. He was.
Yeah, I mean, they didn't promise him anything when he started, is what he said. So I don't know if I'm sure he didn't know when he started that they were going to put him into a program with Zayn. He didn't know that how quickly he was going to come to the main roster, if at all, right? So that was one thing. So as far as the money goes, I don't know. I'm sure some guys like the Styles, Nakamura, and like Gallows and Anderson, those guys, I'm sure they got more money to come.
They had to because they were making insane amounts.
But other guys may not. I don't know what Roddy gets. So that's the other thing. And I guess the other thing too is then it's just it's a broader platform, right, to go and work in NXT or eventually if you get to the main roster, right? So a guy like Chris Hero, for example, who had been there before, right, and then left, and now he's back there again now. If you didn't order an Evolve pay-per-view, then you can't watch Chris Hero wrestle unless you go to a show in person, pretty much, right? But now that he's in NXT, you can watch NXT, and he's on TV at least he's on the network every week,
right?
And he's going to be on the specials and stuff like that, which is more people can see him, wrestle and do work, do his thing in that platform. So I think that's another reason why guys probably choose to go. In addition to maybe they get more money, maybe not, but they get more exposure, eyes on them, and that's just kind of what it is. If you're not, ROH has a weekly TV show. It's not broadcast across the country, right? We don't get to see it on TV here. We have to watch it on an app or online or something like that. So,
is it Pop? It's Pop TV.
I think it was Destination America at the time when they were on for a couple of months, right? And then they
made it 1 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah, it was ridiculous. So, so that's all. I think that's what it is. So certainly, I think WWE is trying to gobble up as much talent as they can because now they've got Raw, they got SmackDown,
there's so
NXT,
much,
205 Live.
BK and I were talking about that, and he said, does it seem like they're poaching more talent now than ever before? And I was like, to an extent, but I think now they have so much time to fill on the network, and they have so much... That's a very good point, RJ, too. And, I mean, a guy like Chris Hero, though, I mean, he's wrestled in almost every continent for, so many different promotions. But I feel like that's why I respect, and before you roll your eyes, I'm going to...
Yeah. Was this going to be a Kenny Omega comment?
Well, he's part of it. But that's why I respect guys like a Kenny Omega, like the Briscoe brothers, and like the Young Bucks, who kind of come out, they stay where they are. They don't just take them. Well, the Young Bucks probably make more on merch than anybody in the entire world. I think that's true.
I would guess, yeah.
But the Briscoe brothers and, Kenny Omega said it because Kenny Omega had a WWE deal on the table. And he said his main worry was he's out there. Kenny Omega is not your average guy. He really thinks, I don't want to turn this into a bashing thing. I'm just being honest. Like, he thinks differently than most wrestlers do, right? Would you say that? He said he wants to make masterpieces in the ring, and I can respect that because I'm sure he's got to be getting paid I don't know how much New Japan pays, nor do I understand like their pay structure.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
But I'm sure he's getting a lot of money. But his main gripe was there's so much talent in the WWE currently that's not being used to their potential, and he feels like he has more to offer. Maybe with his style that it wouldn't translate very well, and he has more to offer in the ring than he could show. And to an extent, I think he's right because you see a lot of people being a little handcuffed in the WWE as to what they can do, and they're not getting anywhere near as much time. I mean, look at your entire cruiserweight division. You have, Rich Swann, TJ Parker. The list can go on and on, but you're getting 2.5 minutes to 3 minutes every single week. So yes, you're getting exposure, but you're not getting the ability to do what you really can do. So that's my only problem with the WWE is that I would have no problem if they sign these guys and they let them do their thing. But me, just like I said, just being selfish, I want to see the matches that these guys are capable of. That's all. It just hurts my heart, man. Unless we can get like a Red Dragon / DIY / who are those mechanics?
Revival.
The Revival let's get a program like that. We're not. We're going to get Milo Kiley and Johnny Salmon, and they're going to be the new blue
fish
iguanas. Blue
fish. I didn't say you gave Johnny Salmon to Bobby Fish. You say in the fish realm there, right?
That's where I went with that, yeah. I tried him. We'll see what happens. I can't wait till Swagger Jack shows up on Impact.
Swagger Jack.
So what do we at? That's my rant. RJ, do you agree with me? So have a wrestle Japanese style, for instance, over the course of a career. But yeah, that's true. Although speaking of a Japanese style, you have a guy like Ishii who literally just gets punched in the face for like 30 to 40 minutes in a match, and that guy is still putting on great matches. The New Japan Cup is currently going on. So actually, while RJ's listening, RJ, did you watch any of the New Japan Cup? And if so, were you surprised that Ishii beat Omega in the first round? I will just sit here and wait for your response.
We're just going to wait?
Yeah, we'll just wait. Nobody's watching. Right?
Okay.
It's just you and I?
Well, we are recording this on audio.
Oh, yeah, so we can't. I forgot we're doing
a lot of people to listen
to.
Are we
multi-platform?
Sure.
Just so you know, real quick, my prediction for the New Japan Cup is going to be Shibata victory. So this is... Wow, this is our most liked live... Look at that. Our most liked live video yet. That makes me feel good. It feels like we're doing something right. But I think watching. Thank you. We appreciate that, Charlie. I do think Shibata is going to win the New Japan Cup and get a title shot. It was a very interesting first round. A lot of upsets. Pretty much everybody that we picked lost
for the most part.
Yeah.
RJ doesn't have New Japan Worlds, so
you are the biggest New Japan mark I know.
Just watching on Daily Motion, dude. That's what I do when I need to.
I like to give my $8.72 yen to New Japan, okay? They need it over there.
I mean, some people don't want to spend their yen on New Japan.
Okay, well, some people do. Some people appreciate the product. I'm the reason Kenny Omega's not in WWE yet, because I'm paying his salary, man.
You know what? I appreciate that. I think that's, I think to kind of build off what you said, I mean, whatever these guys decide to do, it's their choice, right? I mean, so if he wants to stay and work in Japan, I think it's rare. Like, there's few American wrestlers that want to go make their name in Japan, but there's some that do it. Stan Hansen, I think, was a guy like that, kind of like that. Like, he had some U.S. success, but I think when I think of a guy like Stan Hansen or like Terry Gordy or somebody like that, like I think of
I was going to say those guys: Steve Williams, Johnny Ace,
Johnny Ace.
Yeah, Johnny Ace. Well, he was huge in Japan. He was there for like 10 years.
That's bold.
Scott Norton.
That's bold.
Like, these guys left these guys left America to do it in Japan. I mean, if you're about that, literally, if you're about that life, Vader. It's a good point. Although he did come to WWF and WCW, but like, if you can live in Japan and you're like literally about that life, then go do your thing, and and if they believe in you, they'll give you the platform. They're they're not limited creatively. I feel like over there, So if Okada wants to go out, Okada, wow, yeah. Actually, no. If Okada wants to go out and wrestle a doll for 45 minutes, they're going to give him time to do that. So
perhaps they should work on putting some limitations on these things.
Well, New Japan doesn't do that, but DDT and the other ones do.
That's upsetting.
There's a lot going on here. HBK.